Hey guys, Francesca here from the Killer Bits, and this week I'm wearing a Timo hat. Why are you wearing a Timo hat, you might ask? Well, I'm wearing a Timo hat because there are very few instances or occasions where I can actually wear my Timo hat, and I just got it as a gift from a friend, so I'm wearing my Timo hat. In all seriousness though, and Timo aside, this week I want to talk about the E3 Xbox conference that happened yesterday. There were no announcements that I think were super exciting, but there were some things that caught my eye. For one, there were a couple things they announced right away. So for Xbox One owners like myself, you've got a free track on Forza, which is kind of cool. I own Forza. I got it for free when I bought my Xbox, and I'm sure it's a great game. I'm not huge into driving sims, but for the people who are, like, I do know that Forza is a pretty decent game. The other thing that was really kind of cool was the Dead Rising 3 DLC, although it's not really DLC, but that was announced. It's called, let me get this right, Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX plus Alpha. So it's got some kind of ridiculous name to kind of go with its ridiculous nature. And the cool thing about it is it's kind of an arcade style version of Dead Rising with 4-player co-op and a lot of cameos by other Capcom characters. And currently it's sitting at £7.99, available on Xbox literally from yesterday, and I'm really tempted to buy it. The thing is, I feel like it's because it's got co-op, I should gather some buddies and then get it, but I think it looks pretty reasonable. I don't know how long the content's going to be, but this is one of the things about E3 is they announce things that happen straight off the bat to get you kind of hooked. Moving from the stuff that was available straight away to the stuff that's coming soon, as in they were saying by the end of 2014, the one that really got me there, and I'm sure got a lot of people, was the Halo Master Chief Edition. It's a re-release with Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3 and Halo 4 all together in one game for the Xbox One, and it uses the original engines, but I think it does kind of update them to 1080p and to 60 frames per second for some of the older games, and I think actually Halo 4 as well getting updated. Now, I've played Halo 3 and Halo 4 storylines through to completion, but I haven't actually played Halo 1 and Halo 2. So for me this is kind of exciting because I do really enjoy the Halo storylines, and I think they're releasing all of the multiplayer maps, and they're going to have servers and everything. And this is really neat because when they shut down the Halo 2 servers, there was a group of dedicated people on one server that didn't quit just because they didn't shut down the servers unless they were empty. So provided these people kept playing, the servers never shut down, and they kept the servers open for months after the official closure of the servers. And so this is exciting because it means that I can experience Halo 1 and 2 and some of the multiplayer maps, as well as relive the awesome times that were Halo 3, because I believe their servers were shutting at some point, and Halo 4 was lots of fun. So that's really neat. Plus you get multiplayer beta access to Halo 5 Guardians, and I believe you get to see the Halo TV show all together, and this is all coming in November. So for Master Chief fans, this is pretty exciting. Just, I know re-releasing games is kind of cheap money. I mean, you're kind of not really doing a lot more than updating it to a newer console version or whatever, and you make a lot of money because if a game was successful, then chances are it'll be successful again. But I think it's pretty cool. There was a lot of indie stuff shown off. A up-and-coming Limbo-esque game by the same creators called Inside looks pretty cool, kind of like a 2.5D platformer. They mentioned Aztez, and I've interviewed one of the developers of Aztez, and that's a really neat indie game that is coming to Xbox. And what else? Evolve looked super awesome. This is one where you can play as the monster or as 4 of the players, I guess, who fight the monster, the combatants. That one, I believe, is coming by the end of the year. Looks really neat. Sunset Overdrive looks super cool, kind of like a cross between Bioshock Infinite and Dead Rising. Really kind of colourful, exciting graphics, and that looked a lot of fun. I'm pretty hyped about that. Then for the future stuff, there was one game that really caught my eye, and that was Scalebound. Now, Scalebound, it kind of showed off a guy, it was just cinematic, it showed off a guy fighting with dragons, amongst dragons, flying on dragons, and I know dragons are super overhyped and stuff, but I think it could be quite interesting if done well, because there's no realistic dragon-based game that's ever done really well. And like the whole fantasy side of things, I mean, you've got Dragon Age Origins and stuff, but that's where you're like, that's more of an RPG, and I don't really know what to expect from this Scalebound game, but I think it's definitely one to watch in terms of stuff coming up in the future. They showed off some more of Tom Clancy's The Division and the whole multiplayer social side of that, and their smart glass kind of integration, and that looks good, but that looked good last time as well, and I'm sure that one, it's going to be one to watch, but it's nothing new. So for new content, I think Scalebound was the one for me. I mean, what did you guys think so far? I know E3 is in full swing, and this is all going to be outdated and what have you, but from Xbox alone, those were kind of the ones that I picked up, and as an Xbox One owner, it's definitely worth watching. PlayStation 4, for example, I don't own a PlayStation 4, so it's not so much my area the announcements won't necessarily affect me unless I pick up an Xbox. So yeah, what did you guys think of E3? Let me know in the comments. As always, I have been Francesca, and this has been the Kilobits. If you like the vlog, make sure you press like, check out some of my other vlogs. You can subscribe to the channel. We have a Facebook, facebook.com/the Kilobits for all your Facebook needs. And if you're someone who's into Twitter, then at the Kilobits, follow them on Twitter. You can also follow me personally on Twitter at Jaggerus. And if you're into Twitch and live streaming, then check out twitch.tv/Jaggerus. Speaking of Twitch, they totally messed up at the start of the Xbox press conference, in that their servers weren't really coping with the number of people watching. They did manage to get it fixed, but that's a bit of a hiccup for them, but it has been a big year. So there's also that you can comment about. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.